In college algebra, we continued learning different matrix operations. In this problem, in number 1, we look at how to solve for x using matrices. So before we look at the matrices, let's solve this little equation for x. So we subtract a from both sides, and we have 2x equals b minus a. And then let's divide by 2 on both sides. And we've solved for x. But b and a have matrices, so we need to take it a step further and find b minus a and then half all those numbers. So when we do b minus a, go slow and subtract each corresponding element. So we're going to go negative 6 minus 1, 5 minus negative 5, 9 minus 0, and 1 minus 2. And then we need half of that b minus a matrix. So if you want to write it like this, there's a few different ways you could write it. You don't have to rewrite this, but I don't know, it kind of lets you organize or visualize your steps ahead. So final answer would be negative 7 over 2, 9 over 2, 10 divided by 2 is 5, and negative 1 over 2. Technically, you're supposed to put these brackets around these matrices. I'm not very picky if you don't do it, but it organizes things. So maybe hit pause and try number 2. See if you can do it without me. I'm going to do it here. So same idea. We solve for x. Let's subtract a from both sides. And we get b minus a. Let's divide both sides by 3, and we get that. So, just like before, let's get b minus a. And we have negative 10 minus 2, negative 9 minus 0, 1 minus negative 8, 17 minus 4. So we get that matrix, and then we need to divide all of them by 3 or multiply by a third, however you want to write it. All right, here we go. We get equals negative 4, 3, negative 3, 13 thirds. So hopefully you were able to get that all by yourself. All right, we're going to try some harder stuff. We're going to multiply matrices. Down here on number 3, we need to multiply a times b. And without having the ability to point at the board, it's like matrix A turns over on its side, and each row is multiplied by each column. So first step is multiply 2 times 0, 3 times 5. And that gives you the first element. So when I do a times b, I go 2 times 0 plus 3 times 5. So that's first row times first column. And then for the next element to the right, I need to go first row times second column. So with all the lines being drawn, it's going to get a little crazy. I'll draw them for this step, but on the next step, we're going to need to erase. So we go 2 times 1 plus 3 times 6. So one more time, 2 times 1 plus 3 times 6. And then we have to move to row 2, the 4 and the 7. So let's talk our way through it. We're going to go 4 times 0. So this is row 2 times column 1. 7 times 5. And then that row 2 moves to column 2, and we're going to go 4 times 1 plus 7 times 6. That's the hard part. Next you simplify. And we get 15, we get 35, 20, and 46. And that's it. How about, I forgot to type up here BA. Let's find BA from number 3. So use the matrices up here. And let's find B times A. Maybe hit pause and try and do the same thing I just did. B times A. So B tips over and 0, 1 moves through matrix A. So we're going to go 0 times 2. It'll be a different result. It won't be the same thing we just got. And 1 times 4. Then we move over, and we're going to go 0 times 3 plus 1 times 7. Next, we move 5, 6 through it. So 5 times 2 plus 6 times 4. And lastly, 5 times 3 plus 6 times 7. And we end up with 4 over 34 and 7 over 57. Very weird pattern. All right, let's try another one. Let's go A times B for number 4. This one looks really weird because when I flip A on its end and I multiply through B, we're going to end up with one number. Because remember, we multiply every element in row 1 times every element in each column, but there's only one of each. I'm going to end up with 1. We go 1 times 4 plus 2 times 5 plus 3 times 6. We end up getting one number for this result, 32. BA is kind of weird. I get a 3 by 3 matrix because when I put B on its end, we go 4 times 1, and that's row 1 times column 1. And then 4 times 2, and then 4 times 3, 5 times 1, 5 times 2, 5 times 3. This one's a nice pattern to get the hang of because you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 times 1, 6 times 2, 6 times 3, and simplify. So our answer is 4, 8, 12, 5, 10, 15, and 6, 12, 18. Whoops. All right. I hope all that made sense. See y'all later.